What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the Brown Gen. Today, I'm going to talk about AMC. You probably know them as one of your favorite movie theaters growing up as a kid, but a lot of us have rallied behind AMC and GameStop over the last couple of years, ever since January 2021, when a massive short squeeze potential sort of got so many people interested in the stock market. And we'll talk about how one man has taken full advantage of this and the entire time, in sort of my opinion, has taken advantage of the shareholders who had bought in to support AMC. And, well, you can see here, he's got the devil horns because he's really not that good of a guy. So that's what we're going to talk about in this video. Before we get into it, as a reminder, if you're new here, make sure you subscribe, like, and share the video. Nothing I say here is financial advice. Do your own research. Just do your own research. It's always a good idea. So this was the scene back in January of 2021, and then it accumulated to a summer blow for short sellers. So just let me recap and set the scene. Back in January, stocks like GameStop, stocks like Nokia, stocks like AMC, Bed Bath & Beyond, these were like the most heavily beat down stocks. And the way it sort of works is you can either bet that a company will do well or bet that a company will do bad. If you bet a company's going to do well, you buy their shares. It's called going long on the company. If you believe in the opposite, you go short, or you basically borrow shares today and sell them, and you'll buy them back in the future, obviously because you think the price will go down. So if you sold shares today that you don't own at $5 a share, and you can buy it back at $2 a share, that's how short selling works. Well, some really smart people on Reddit and the Wall Street Bets community, what they did was they saw there was so much shorts. There's so much shorts, like super greedy, opened up on GameStop, AMC, and a bunch of other stocks. And I covered this back then too. But this is a recap for those of you who are new here. What happened was there was evidence basically of naked short selling, which means they were selling more shares than were available for sale on the market, which means if sellers all of a sudden, if these short sellers couldn't sort of buy those shares back, sort of price increase could trigger what would be a momentous short squeeze. And what happens is as the price goes up, people will have to buy the next available share to liquidate their position, because at a certain percentage, the brokerage will automatically close and liquidate their position. And it doing this sort of sends a sort of deathward spiral upwards where the stock price will skyrocket. We saw this with GameStop, which went from $10 to a couple $100. In January of 2021, AMC went from like $3 to $4 all the way up to 20. And this was actually the stock that I traded. I bought a few GameStop. I was sort of faded it, which is not obviously a good thing to brag about. But if we look back here, we were sitting around like $4, and we went like over here. I'll zoom in here. It was around $4 when I bought it. It went all the way to 20. These things aren't as accurate because they're 5 years out. And what happened there was then all of a sudden, Robinhood removed the buy button. There was a ton of controversy. We're not going to get into that. Basically, all that stuff petered out. Then in the summer, we got round two, where GameStop sort of rallied, but this time was AMC's time to shine. And it doesn't show it here, I don't think, but it went all the way from like a floor of $10. I remember selling some shares at $70-something. So $59 is definitely not right. But it was over a few weeks. And here is where the problem was. As this massive blow was dealt to short sellers, right? Like this $1.2 billion, right? What happened was, and this is just as it went up to $36 a share. It ended up going double that to 72%. But tons of hedge funds were losing a lot of money. Some hedge funds went under, which, you love to see that, right? That's probably one of the things you love to see. What happened was Adam Aaron ended up selling some shares to a short seller at a massive discount. That short seller went and dumped the shares on the open market and put out a report saying, oh, we bought these shares, they're overvalued, blah, blah, blah. The stock value tanked. And this from the guy, Adam Aron, who, like you see here, if you ask him, oh, he's here to support AMC. All he cares about is the AMC bulls, right? But every action he has taken has been the exact opposite. He's not a supporter. He's a wolf in sheep's clothing. That's probably the thumbnail I should have used. And honestly, like, I don't blame him. His number one goal as CEO is to protect the value of AMC, to get the most money he can from AMC, and he doesn't care about the short-term investors or the sort of buyers. He just wants liquidity. But he's very dishonest with the investors, saying, oh, don't worry, I'm here for you. We're going to give you free popcorn if you own AMC stock. Just a bunch of garbage like that. Like, I think this guy thinks everyone else is stupid. Like, that's what these people you typically think. This reminds me of Alex Bachenskin, the Celsius guy who talks about unbank yourself, who basically you should have made unbankrupt yourself because he like lost everyone's money and now he's filed for bankruptcy. But basically, he found a way around sort of his shareholders because his shareholders had enough. They said, hey, we are not going to let you issue more shares because you're going to go and sell them. At least they wisened up. So he said, oh, well, you know what? Let me take advantage of the ape movement, right? Wall Street bets and the apes. So he called this ticker APE, which stands for AMC Preferred Equity, and he basically issued a dividend via AMC. And the weird part was when he did it, he said that they would have the same voting rights as the existing common shares, which was a little weird, right? Especially like if you look at the timelines for when the when that it's not the ex-factory date, it's like the book date of the shares when this dividend is calculated, right? So what happened was, by doing this, he basically wanted to raise more equity, but he had to play the long game because the shareholders would not be okay with it. Now, when he did the APE shares, the shares fell 6%. And as you can see here, the shares never really recovered, right? And this doesn't show it, but it was like $72 up here in 2021. And they had a massive drawdown, right? Like as APE came out and all the other things, the shares have really stayed flat around $4. The earnings for AMC are like $0 a share, right? Like this is not a profitable company. But now what happened, and this is very important, was today AMC dropped 40%. 40%. Remember, the rest of the market is green today. But today it's down like 40%, now down 35.5%. And this is because they said, hey, you can now convert your APE shares or your APE ticker symbol, your preferred equity, into AMC shares. And APE is actually sitting at $2.07. So it's actually up 16% today because, I think it's a 1-for-1 exchange. And people are going to take super advantage of this. This is obviously Adam Aron's sort of event here to sort of take advantage of that dividend. And the APE shares will stop trading on August 25th. And to make this even worse, we talk on this channel about stock splits and reverse stock splits. Reverse stock splits are like one of the worst things that you can do for a company. AMC is going to do a 1-to-10 reverse stock split. That means if you own 100 shares of AMC at like $4 a share, which is what I do, microscopic part of my portfolio, right? I own that. Don't look at it. It's like hey, I sold made over 5 figures in AMC. Probably like a little high. Yeah, I was like 13,000. But I am okay putting $400 here and parking it there for any future events because I saw AMC do rebounds a couple times, right? So a 1-to-10 reverse split means my 100 shares at $4 a share. It is now going to be 10 shares at $40 a share. Still have the $400 equity, the book value that I paid for it. But unfortunately, what this means is it is not a good sign for the stock. What's going to happen is the stock price is going to crater. We saw this happen with Bionanogenomics, which just did their own effective reverse stock split as well. and the stock just continues to slide. Let me just bring that up on the screen here so you can see it. Oh, just bring it over here. Yeah. So you can see over here, like this is today. BNGO is down 13%. Yeah, like their CFO sort of resigned, but even still, ever since the reverse stock split, stock just keeps going down. And I call this because this is not how you build confidence in a company. You build confidence in a company, but because you do the right things. When you reverse stock split, it just means you're looking for a way to stay listed. It means that you're trying to consolidate, and that is not what successful companies do. Successful companies, they do stock splits where they say, oh my God, we have the share cost too much. People can't do option contracts and everything on it. And they divide the shares up. That's what Tesla does. That's what NVIDIA does. It's always the shitty companies that do this, right? Or it's companies in a terrible situation. But this is not what an investor looks at and goes, oh yeah, this is a fantastic opportunity. So this is happening as well on August 25th, or August 24th. So on August 25th, all this stuff will sort of take place, which means we're going to have APE and AMC merge, and we're going to have the AMC 1 to 10 reverse stock split. And I'm sure Adam Aaron's going to go, oh my God, guys, come on, buy more AMC shares, buy more for me so I can retire early, so I can buy my family a yacht and everything else. And literally, the guy is the biggest snake oil salesman. And now he says AMC should now be able to raise additional equity capital. And we can use this access to equity capital to shore up our cash reserves, pay down debt, invest in growth initiatives to strengthen our operating profitability, and pursue transformative merger and acquisition opportunities. Fantastic. You know what you should do? Here's a test that I always tell people who report to me. If you really believe this is a sort of unique thing for you, cover the name of the company up. If you didn't see AMC here, what company would you think of when they say this? Literally anything. This is the most vaguest thing you could write. Oh yeah, like Nintendo should now be able to raise additional equity capital. We could use access to shore up our cash reserves, blah, blah, blah. It's just a bunch of fancy verbs and like nothing of substance here. The guy literally is just looking for people to come in and be like, hey guys, I'm still on the ape train. We got to fight the hedge funds. Come on, buy more AMC shares. But I'm glad that people who bought AMC and sort of have had to deal with this for the last few years have finally seen this. And I hope that, I don't mean to say this as I told you so, but when I sold my AMC shares around $70 a share back a year and a half ago, 2 years ago almost at this point, I literally said, this is a huge opportunity. Take the money while you can. And I got told, hey, you're stupid. AMC's going to 100K. One of my friends actually, when I told him to sell with me at $70, and I recommended, I didn't tell him, right? Not financial advice. He said, hey, like, why would I sell? It's going to 100K. I said, okay, well, if it's going to 100K, then sell 99 of your shares. Well, that last one, go to 100K. And when I saw him for my wedding, he said to me, I wish I sold that last share. That $70 and just throw it away, right? And that's the thing, right? When you see these like fantastic thumbnails and amazing hype titles, guess what? This video is not going to get thousands of views. I'll be happy if this video gets 100 or 200 views, right? The reality is these aren't the kind of videos that get the views, because if I put a thumbnail out there and said, hey, AMC, Ape Mania, don't worry, going to $100,000, I would get 10,000, 20,000, 50,000 views just because it would be so provocative. People don't care about what you say as much as they care about sort of like what the takeaway is. And I don't mean for this video to be a takeaway that, hey, AMC's bad. I don't think AMC's bad. Like, it's just a random company. It really depends on the management. Adam Aaron's doing a horrible job, and he's screwing over the people who've actually saved his company. Why would they continue to support this company? I don't see why you would. And I hope that the Wall Street Bets movement goes, hey, look, this guy is the worst. The next time there's an opportunity to do this, let's go somewhere else. Because this guy literally just thinks he can get people multiple times. And what I always say is, hey, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. So we already covered this. We already talked about the AMC 1 to 10 reverse split. And this was something that was voted for, of course. Yeah, we talked about this. And yeah, like literally, like these aren't good headlines. AMC stock heads to its worst day in years. The ape court ruling is terrible for shares, right? Like basically, the AMC stock was down 34% as investors reacted to a late Friday court ruling that would allow the movie theater chain to convert its preferred equity units known as apes to common shares. That puts AMC shares on track for their biggest drop by percentage points in more than 2 years. And keep in mind, this is after they went to 76% or $76 or $75. This is a horrible drop. Clark says when AMC went up to $72 a share, I wish I knew then what I know now because I certainly would have sold all my shares. Oh my God. I'm so sorry to hear that. I was having dinner with one of my friends and his brother is down, I think it's like $1.8 million on AMC, 1.8 or $1.9 million. And he was sharing this with me and I'm like, is he okay? And he's like, dude, like he's literally shell shook. He took all the family's money. He put it in AMC. His wife has no idea. Literally zero idea. They're like, he's hoping that she never asks about the funds before AMC recovers. And he was telling me this when AMC was like $10. So if he was down 1.8, $1.9 million, it's Canadian, but 1.8 or $1.9 million back then, I can't even imagine how it is like now that the price is half that, right? And I'm so sorry to hear that. And like honestly, the one saving grace here is I hope, and it's it sucks to say, right? Expensive tuition. You'll never be in that position again because next time hey, I'm up so much, I'm gonna take some profit and just like, hey, let some stuff ride. Because at the end of the day, all of these companies, no matter which one you look at, they can pretend and from a marketing perspective, they will tell you they're on your side. But they don't give a shit about you. They don't care about any of us. All they care about is their bonus and what they get for their family. So Adam Aron is going to have a nice yacht. He's going to have a sweet retirement. His family is going to be super wealthy, and he made it all of the backs of those shareholders. And he couldn't give one care about any of you or us. At the end of the day, he's hoping to keep bringing everyone back around with some more messaging. Hey guys, that's not me. That was somebody else. I'm here to support you. And he's not. And that's why I make these videos. I'm making this video because if even I can sort of get a few people to rethink about buying AMC when it goes to all-time highs or whatever, if it does in the future, I really hope people remember this because this is not somebody that can be trusted. And you should just feel this way about everybody, right? At the end of the day, just like with these videos, right? Do you think I'm going to post a video about me selling my shares before I sell them? No. I'm going to sell my shares and I'll let you know when I do, whenever I sort of exit positions. But I will always pick myself first because if I say it, then everyone else front runs me and then my price is way lower. That's just the reality of it. Everyone's going to choose themselves, right? But I just wish he'd be more transparent around all that stuff. So when AMC asked shareholders to approve lifting the issuance ceiling and convert APE to common stock, he called it crucial for our future. No, crucial for his yacht and for Adam Aron's future because the guy literally has no problem with selling shares to short sellers. Short sellers who would have had to pay significantly higher, and they would have been forced to buy significantly higher because that AMC squeeze was happening. And it was just like, can you imagine having somebody on your side sort of become a turncoat, screw you over, stab you in the back, and then go, hey, guys, I'm on your side. I'm on theirs. I'm on your side. Like what? Like these are the dumbest people in the world, or like the most incompetent people in the world. Like I refuse to believe Adam Aron is this incompetent, right? I believe he's very strategic, and I don't blame him. Like I said, no one is saying what he did was not good for AMC. It's just not good for our shareholders. So if we take a look at AMC right now, let me sort of zoom out. Let's go back here and let's look at AMC over the last little while. And these logarithmic charts really suck. So you can see here, the share has a massive drop, right? Since like the big jump. And it has literally just been like riding a cycle high to another cycle over here, cycle here, ups and downs. it had a recent pump up to like $7. I wish I sold my shares then, to be honest. I mean, whatever. I was I was really looking for a home run with those 100 shares. No point otherwise. And now it's just sitting here and it's dropped significantly. And I don't expect it to stop dropping. I think even though we end the day at 339 for AMC, we can probably see something like 250 in the future. And I think 250 pre-split. Post-split, probably like $10, right? You go for 250 a share to $25 a share, and then for 25 we'll go back to 10 or 5. I think it's going to keep going down. At least in the short term, I don't know. That's my prediction. Clark says, I know you can't give me any advice. I have 3,200 APE shares, 2,200 AMC shares. I'm planning on selling all of my APE shares the day before the conversion. Do you think that's smart? Yeah, so my estimation is I think AMC is going to come down and APE shares are going to go up, and they're going to converge on a price because what I understand, they're a 1-to-1 conversion. So like if like the market is very efficient, right? If a $2 thing is going to trade for a $4 thing and they're both going to be worth the same thing, they'll both tend to sort of come closer in price. I think AMC is going to drop more significantly than APE will come up. But I think once that happens, like they're going to be the same. So I don't know if it's honestly worth doing that, or like I'm not sure what your cost base is because I don't know how many shares. Oh, you know what? I think you're saying it here. You're 2,200 AMC shares. You're down 80,000. You're down 80,000. Does that mean your average cost is like $45? $45 a share or something like that? Because that's really high. I'm honestly not sure what to say in this situation. Like, the only thing I think you could do is maybe sell some of your APE shares, and then like if it drops, you can buy them back if you want to. I think the management either has to change, or the Bulls will move on for the most part. So I'm not really sure. Like even the $400 I have in AMC, I've sort of written it off. Like all that was like paid for and more by Tesla and even the AMC shares that like I had. So that's sort of my thoughts. Sorry if that wasn't helpful. It's really hard to sort of extrapolate what will happen because there's a bunch of things. But I think long term, I think there's going to be a ton of downward pressure on AMC. Like I said, I think the stock goes to like 275, 250, then 10x is the price with the reverse stock split, and then it drops significantly more from there because it's just going to be a landslide. And I'm sure Adam Aron's going to find his own way to try to issue more shares. Maybe he'll make 8 too and try to do that same thing again, right? Who knows? Anyways, I hope you found this helpful. Whether you watch live or you watch after the fact, I would love to hear from you what you think is going to happen to AMC. You fan the reverse split? Are you fan of sort of the ape sort of coming together? What do you think of Adam Aron? That's actually what I want to know the most. If you forget everything else, tell me what you think of Adam Aron and what you think of AMC. I'd love to see that in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share the video. And until next time, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.